This is a bad idea. I know that the second you walked in, you took your shoes off by the door, like you still lived here. Didn't even ask first, just walked to the kitchen, opened the fridge, made yourself comfortable. And somehow my body remembered all of it instantly. The rhythm, the energy, the version of us that used to feel automatic. That's the dangerous part, not passion, familiarity. Some people stop feeling like strangers too easily. I hate how comfortable this feels. You sitting too close on the couch, me laughing at things I shouldn't find funny anymore. Like no time passed, like we didn't already break each other once. And for a few minutes I almost believed we could pretend history differently. You asked if I've been sleeping better lately. Such a small question, still hit harder than expected, because nobody's asked gently like that in a while. And suddenly I remembered how intimacy actually feels. Not the physical part, the emotional detail of being noticed. I hate how comfortable this feels. The weirdest part, we barely talked about the breakup at all tonight. Just ordered food, shared old stories, sat in silence comfortably, like two people temporarily borrowing an older version of themselves. But underneath it I could still feel reality waiting quietly. The same problem, same distance, same ending we never really solved. Missing somebody can make familiar things feel safer than they are. I hate how comfortable this feels. How quickly loneliness turns into nostalgia. How easily your voice still softens the room. And maybe that's why this can't happen often, because every time you leave I have to heal from us all over again. The silence feels heavier now. Honestly, I was doing better before tonight. I hadn't thought about you all week, not in that heavy way at least. Life was finally starting to feel normal again. Work, sleep, coffee in the mornings, random conversations that actually held my attention. I even stopped checking my phone every 5 minutes out of habit. Then your name showed up unexpectedly, one notification, and suddenly my whole chest felt familiar again. It's crazy how healing can feel solid until one small thing cracks it open. Honestly, I was doing better, sleeping deeper, thinking less, finally letting silence exist without attaching you to it. And tonight happened, and now every memory's back in the room again, sitting beside me like it never left. You didn't even say anything emotional, that's the worst part. Just hope you've been good, like we're casual now. Like we didn't want to spend entire nights telling each other things nobody else knew. I stared at that message way too long, trying to decide whether healing means replying calmly or not replying at all. Relapse, not addiction, relapse, emotional relapse, the kind where you revisit old feelings you thought your body already processed, and suddenly you're back there again. Same overthinking, same late night pacing, same stupid urge to hear their voice, even after all this time. Maybe progress isn't linear, maybe it's messy on purpose. Honestly, I was doing better before your name lit up my screen tonight, before memories got louder again, before this apartment started feeling haunted. Maybe tomorrow I'll wake up okay again, but right now I miss you in a way I thought already passed. Not tonight. Not tonight. I don't play our songs anymore, not because they hurt too much, mostly because I already know exactly how they'll make me feel. There was a time one call could ruin my whole night, now it's different. Now I hear those songs in stores or passing cars and just keep walking. Guess that's progress, or maybe exhaustion. Hard to tell sometimes. The city feels colder lately. Everybody moving fast, everybody pretending they don't check their phones, hoping for one specific name. Funny how healing starts looking less emotional and more routine. I don't play our songs anymore, don't sit in parked cars replaying memories, don't drink too much and scroll through old photos, don't romanticize every little thing we were, at least not like before. Now it's quieter than that, just certain nights, certain lights, certain moments that still pull me backward. I changed playlists recently, needing music that didn't sound like us anymore. No soft, slow jams, no late night guitar solos, no songs that make silence feel heavier. For a while it actually worked too. Then yesterday, one random melody came on at a coffee shop, and suddenly I remembered your voice singing off key in traffic, just like that. know I meant forgetting, but honestly, I remember you pretty clearly still. I just don't react the same anymore. It's probably the real difference. The memories arrive and leave quietly now, without destroying the entire evening. Maybe healing isn't becoming emotionless. Maybe it's learning emotions don't have to control you every time. I don't play our songs anymore, but sometimes they still find me anyway, in grocery stores and Ubers, through apartment walls at 1 a.m. And for a few seconds, everything feels strangely familiar again, before the night moves on. And so do I. Funny how certain songs can remember people for you. It's never the big memories anymore, those faded first. Now it's smaller things that survive. The way you folded sleeves when you were nervous, the little pause before you answered serious questions, how you always stole the cold side of the bed somehow. Tiny details completely useless now, and somehow those are the hardest to lose. I can't even remember what our last argument was fully about anymore, but I remember exactly how your laugh sounded when you were genuinely tired. Funny what the brain decides to archive forever. People leave, but fragments stay behind. Everywhere you still live in small things, in coffee shops we used to sit in too long, in songs that accidentally sound like your apartment, in certain streets after midnight rain. Not enough to ruin me anymore, just enough to quietly exist in the background sometimes. I found myself using one of your phrases last week, caught it halfway through the sentence. Actually stopped talking for a second. That messed with me more than expected. Guess loving somebody long enough changes your habits permanently. Little pieces of them slip into the way you move through life afterward, even when the relationship itself is gone. I don't miss you constantly anymore, that part's true. Most days feel normal now, but every once in a while life hits a certain angle of light, a certain smell, a certain quiet moment, and suddenly your absence becomes briefly visible again, like emotional deja vu. Maybe moving on doesn't erase people, maybe it just softens the edges over time. You still live in small things, not loudly, not painfully, not in ways that stop my life anymore. Just quietly, like background music in another room. they just learn how to whisper. You know what's funny? I don't even miss the big things anymore. It's the random stuff now. Mm. Mm. I miss the way you used to steal blankets, not even because you were cold. You just moved a lot in your sleep, like your dreams had somewhere to be. I miss hearing you talk from another room while I pretended not to listen. Miss the dumb little updates, traffic's terrible, my boss is annoying, remind me to buy toothpaste later. Regular life stuff, the kind nobody warns you will hurt afterward. Love disappears strangely, not all at once. I keep missing random things. Your shoes by the doorway, your voice asking what I wanted to eat, the way you'd fall asleep during movies, then swear you were still watching. None of it sounds important out loud, but somehow that's what stays with me the longest. I walked past someone wearing your perfume today, actually stopped walking for a second. Crazy how memory works through smell. One tiny moment, and suddenly your whole existence comes rushing back without permission. Not even sadness exactly, just emotional whiplash. Like my brain still hasn't updated fully. I think moving on is mostly repetition. Waking up, doing normal things, teaching your body not to expect someone anymore. And honestly, some days I'm great at it, other days I almost turn around to tell you something funny before remembering you're not there now. People leave, but routines remember them longer. I keep missing random things, not the dramatic moments, not the big fights, not even the goodbye itself. Just ordinary pieces of us scattered through everyday life, like they still belong there somehow. The weird part is, I'm happy sometimes now, and I still miss you anyway. I could have been home 20 minutes ago. Way again tonight, down streets I don't even need anymore, past the gas station where we used to stop when neither of us wanted the night to end. Funny how certain places keep versions of people alive. Even after everything changes, the cashier still works there sometimes, still nods at me like he remembers us. I wonder if he notices you stop showing up first. I tell everybody I'm okay now, and mostly I mean it. But some nights I keep driving for no reason, windows down, music low, letting no thoughts ride beside me, taking the long way home again. Like maybe if I stay moving long enough, I won't have to sit alone with myself yet. You ever notice how nighttime changes everything? Makes memories sound softer, makes loneliness feel cinematic. During the day I barely think about you, but after midnight every little thing starts reconnecting somehow. The smell of rain, red lights on empty streets, songs with too much honesty in them. That's usually when you come back. I almost called somebody tonight. Not you, just anybody. Guess I miss conversation more than anything. I'm saying random thoughts out loud before they disappear. You used to catch all of them, even the pointless ones, especially the pointless ones. So I keep taking the long way home again. One more song, one more exit, one more excuse not to pull into the driveway yet. Because once the engine stops, the silence gets too honest. And tonight, I'm not ready for that part. Another missed exit. Another missed exit. "2:13 in the morning, and somehow I'm still driving around. Same streets, same playlist, same thoughts, just different passenger seats. Past that diner on 8th again, the one we used to stay at late, talking until the workers stacked chairs around us. You'd steal fries off my plate, then act surprised when I noticed. Funny how I remember little things like that more than the actual ending. Back then everything felt open, like life was still deciding what it wanted to become. And somehow I thought we'd make it there together. Now nights feel quieter. In a way I still haven't adjusted to. We used to talk until sunrise, like sleep didn't matter at all. Like there'd always be another night, another drive, another reason to stay awake. Now your name just lives inside old conversations and songs I never skip fast enough. Some people leave slowly, even after they're gone. My friends say I look better lately, maybe they're right. I laugh more now, go outside more, stop checking my phone every hour. But healing's strange. Sometimes you feel completely fine until something random unlocks everything again. Like hearing a song in the grocery store that used to play in your car, and suddenly you're 23 again, trying not to fall too hard. Late night city atmosphere, headlights passing through rain. I wonder if you still stay up late, or if somebody reminds you to sleep now. I wonder if you still overthink small things, like taking too long to choose a movie, or rereading texts before sending them. You used to say I made the night feel less heavy. I never told you you did the same for me. Maybe growing up is learning not every good thing stays. We used to talk until sunrise. Now I drive these streets alone. Street lights flicker through the windshield like memories trying not to fade. And maybe this is what moving on looks like. No big ending, no dramatic goodbye, just silence, getting more familiar over time. It's almost morning now. You always like this hour most. No, I shouldn't. That's the first thing I think every time. Some nights I still check your page, not because I think you're coming back. I think I just want proof that you still exist somewhere outside my memories. Which sounds insane now that I say it out loud, but losing somebody slowly does weird things to your brain, especially after midnight, especially when the room gets too quiet. I don't even know what I'm looking for anymore. Some nights I still check, still scroll too far, still pause at old pictures longer than I mean to. Not because I'm stuck, at least I don't think I am. Maybe I just miss the version of life where you were still part of it. Yeah. You posted a picture last week, you looked happy, and honestly that hurt less than I expected. Guess time really does soften certain things. A year ago that photo would've ruined my entire night. Now it just feels strange, like seeing someone from high school randomly succeed somewhere. Someone you used to know deeply, but don't anymore. floating guitar, floating guitar, headphone atmosphere. I almost unfollowed you last month. Sat there staring at the button forever. Not because I still wanted us back. I think part of me just wasn't ready for complete disappearance yet. That's the ugly part nobody romanticizes. Sometimes healing looks less like strength and more like slowly loosening your grip, one finger at a time. Closure's rarely one big moment. Usually it's gradual. Some nights I still check, still revisit old versions of us through glowing screens at 2 a.m. And maybe someday your name won't pull anything from me anymore. But tonight I'm still somewhere in between. Tomorrow I won't look. It's weird. You look smaller in photos now. I found an old picture of us tonight. Not even a special one. Just you sitting in traffic, singing badly to some song on the radio. I stared at it longer than I should've, trying to remember if we were actually happy back then, or just good at looking like it. Memory does that sometimes, turns ordinary moments into something cinematic afterward. But pictures never captured your energy right. You were better in real life, better in motion, better laughing halfway through sentences, better stealing hoodies and pretending you didn't. Every memory feels flatter now, like the camera missed the actual version of you. And maybe that's why letting go feels strange, because I'm not missing photos, I'm missing moments. I used to think closure would feel bigger, like some final conversation where everything suddenly made sense. Instead it's mostly random nights like this, staring at old screenshots, trying to remember why certain messages mattered so much. You ever reread something that once meant everything and barely recognize the people talking anymore? I don't really romanticize us anymore. At least I try not to. We had problems, timing issues, too many things neither of us knew how to say. Still, you felt real to me, and that's harder to replace than people admit. Some connections don't end dramatically, they just stop growing. You were better in real life, better than memory can explain now, better than old videos or archive messages or songs attached to certain years. And maybe that's the hardest part, knowing somebody existed once in a way no recording could fully keep. Funny, I barely remember your perfume anymore, but I still remember your presence. Used to hate silence. Now I leave the TV on, just so the room feels occupied. There's still 2 coffee mugs in the kitchen. I keep meaning to put one away, but every morning I forget on purpose. The apartment sounds different now, smaller somehow, like your laugh used to fill corners I never noticed before. And honestly, that's the hardest part. Not the breakup itself, just how normal everything looked right before it happened. No screaming, no cheating, no big dramatic ending, just distance, slow and quiet. Nothing feels loud after you. Not the city, not these parties, not the people trying too hard to be interesting. Even heartbreak felt quieter than I expected. Just me, standing in the kitchen at 1 a.m. wondering when the room stopped feeling like home. I saw your favorite cereal at the start of day. Almost bought it, then realized you haven't been here in months. That kinda messed me up a little. Funny what grief actually looks like. Not crying in the rain, not staring out windows dramatically. It's smaller than that, reaching for someone before remembering you can't anymore. Nothing feels loud after you. I don't even know if I miss specifically. Maybe I just miss having somebody to tell pointless things to, like how my day went, or what song came on in traffic, or how I accidentally slept through 3 alarms again. You were there for all the little moments. That's what leaves the biggest silence afterward. Nothing feels loud after you. Not my phone buzzing, not crowded rooms, not music through headphones at midnight. The world kept moving normally, I just didn't. Not right away. Strange how somebody can leave and still change the sound of a room. It's almost morning. Feels weird getting emotional, and the sky's already changing colors. I used to think endings would feel obvious, like there'd be some final sentence that explained everything cleanly. Instead we just drifted. Phone calls got shorter, silences lasted longer. Small misunderstandings stopped getting fixed. And one day we were suddenly people who used to know each other. Funny how relationships can end quietly while love's still somewhere in the room. Things we never said out loud still echo differently at night. All the almost conversations, all the feelings we softened, so we wouldn't ruin the moment. Maybe honesty would have saved us, or maybe it would have ended things sooner. I still don't know. I still don't know. There were nights you looked exhausted, and I knew something was wrong. But instead of asking deeper, I changed the subject, make a joke, turn the music louder. Guess we were both trying to protect something, even while it was already breaking. That's the part I replay most now, not the fights, the missed chances to understand each other better. I don't blame you anymore. It took time for a while. I needed somebody to be the villain because it made the story easier to carry. But real life's rarely that simple. Sometimes two people love each other honestly and still slowly become incompatible. That truth feels quieter but heavier somehow. Maybe closure isn't finding answers, maybe it's learning to live without them. Needs we never said out loud, never said out loud, still exist between certain songs, certain streets, certain sleepless nights. But they don't hurt the same anymore. Now they just remind me that we were real once. Honestly, I think that's enough now. The city's finally getting quiet, and for the first time in a while, my mind is too. Here we go again. You always texted dangerous hours, 1:16, 2:40, sometimes almost 4 in the morning. Like loneliness only finds you after dark. And somehow I always answer, even when I tell myself not to, even when I know exactly how this conversation ends. A couple you awake text, and suddenly we're reopening wounds like they never closed. Don't text me after midnight. Don't tell me you miss me when the room gets too quiet. Don't say my name softly like we didn't already ruin this once. Because every time I almost move on, you pull me backward with 5 words in a typing bubble. You still know exactly how to talk to me. That's the problem. Still know when to pause, when to joke, when to sound vulnerable enough to make me stay longer than I should. And I hate that part of me still reacts, still waits for the screen to light up, still wonders if tonight might somehow become different. Late night apartment outside, distant thunder outside. He said, I just wanted to hear your voice. And for a second, everything felt familiar again, like old nights in your car, sharing fries at red lights, talking about absolutely nothing. That's the dangerous thing about us. We know how to recreate comfort without fixing anything underneath it. Maybe some people aren't meant to reconnect, just revisit each other occasionally. So don't text me after midnight. Don't ask if I'm still awake when you already know the answer. Don't pull me back into memories we barely survived the first time. It's never been something I knew how to do. Yeah. It's strange looking back now. How long we both knew something was wrong without saying it directly. We got really good at changing subjects. That was our thing. Anytime a conversation got too honest, one of us would make a joke, check a phone notification, turn the TV louder, and somehow we called that keeping the peace. Looking back, I think we were just scared, because admitting things out loud would've made them real. So instead, we mastered avoidance quietly. We got good at avoiding things, the distance, the resentment, the feeling that we stopped understanding each other. Halfway through, still shared the same bed, same routine, same late night takeout orders. But emotionally, we were already standing in separate rooms. The worst part is, I don't think either of us meant harm. We were just tired. Tired people say I'm fine a lot when they really mean I don't even know where to begin anymore. And eventually those unfinished conversations piled up so high, there wasn't room left for anything else. We were just more honest earlier. Maybe nothing changes. Maybe we still end up here eventually. But at least we wouldn't have spent months pretending silence was maturity. when really we were both slowly disappearing inside it. Love rarely collapses all at once. Usually it erodes quietly. We got good at avoiding things, and eventually we avoided each other too. Now all that's left are half-finished memories and conversations that still echo afterward. Funny how people can drift apart while sitting right beside each other. Maybe we knew the ending long before we admitted it. The apartment feels different now. Too organized, too quiet. I finally cleaned the place last weekend. Folded clothes, washed dishes, threw away receipts from months ago. Even made the bed properly. You would've laughed at that part. Said something like, look at you pretending to have your life together. And honestly, maybe I am pretending a little. Because the cleaner this place gets, the more obvious your absence becomes. Mess used to make this place feel alive. The apartment feels too clean now. No hoodies on the couch, no half-finished coffee on the counter. No background singing from the kitchen, just me and perfectly arranged silence. Funny how peace can feel lonely too. I stopped leaving the TV on at night, trying to get comfortable with quiet again. Some nights it works, other nights every little sound feels amplified. The elevator downstairs, cars outside the window, my phone buzzing once, then nothing afterward. You ever notice how loneliness makes small noises feel enormous? I found one of your hair ties yesterday under the bathroom sink. Somehow held it for a second longer than necessary. Not because I'm still heartbroken, it just felt strange realizing the last physical traces of you keep disappearing one by one, like the apartment slowly forgetting to. Maybe moving on is mostly maintenance, little adjustments nobody sees. The apartment feels too clean now, like nobody's lived emotionally here in months. And maybe that's healthier. Maybe this silence means healing still. I kinda miss the noise we made together sometimes. Another quiet night here. Most days I'm okay now. At least that's what I tell people. I've gotten good at sounding healed, good at casual answers, good at changing subjects, good at acting like your name doesn't still echo sometimes after midnight. And honestly, most of the time I even believe myself. But nights are different. Nights remove distractions, and suddenly there's too much room left for memory. Daytime belongs to progress, nighttime belongs to honesty. These are the nights I pretend I don't miss you, driving home too slowly, replaying conversations I swore stopped mattering, letting old songs finish when I should skip them. Not because I want us back exactly, I think I just miss who I was when life still included you. I passed your neighborhood last week, didn't turn down the street, didn't need to. Still felt my chest tighten a little anyway. Funny how the body remembers places emotionally, even after the mind starts moving forward. Healing's weird like that, half growth, half accidental relapse. I used to think closure meant certainty, like one day I'd finally understand everything perfectly. Now I think closure's quieter than that. Maybe it's just reaching a point where memories stop feeling urgent, where missing someone doesn't automatically ruin the entire night anymore, where love becomes something you survive, not something you're trapped inside. Some people leave permanently, but certain versions of yourself leave with them too. These are the nights I pretend I don't miss you, when the city gets softer and the headlights blur through rain, when all the motion starts sounding now. Less heartbreak, more quiet understanding. The sky's getting lighter, guess I made it through another night. I almost called you tonight. That's becoming a pretty regular sentence in my head lately. It started simple, just one of those long quiet evenings where everything feels slower than usual. I made dinner too late, Watched half a movie without paying attention. Paced around the apartment for no real reason. Then somehow my brain wandered back to you again, like it always does when the night gets too still. Some habits leave slower than feelings do. Another night I didn't call. Another small victory nobody sees. No drunk voicemail, no fake excuses to check in. No reopening doors that barely close correctly the first time. Just me sitting with the urge quietly until it passed. I used to think healing would feel bigger, more cinematic. Like one day I wake up and your name wouldn't affect me at all anymore. But honestly, it's mostly moments like this. Choosing not to text, choosing not to revisit old conversations, choosing silence on purpose. Little decisions over and over again. Soft, headphone, focused atmosphere. Late night, room, ambience. I even unlocked my phone earlier, scrolled down to your contacts, stared at it for a second, then locked the screen again. Not because I stopped caring. I think part of growing up is realizing missing somebody doesn't automatically mean you should interrupt their peace again, or your own. Some connections survive better as memories. Another night I didn't call, didn't chase nostalgia, didn't confuse loneliness for destiny, didn't let midnight make decisions for me. And maybe tomorrow I'll still miss you a little, but tonight I finally let the silence stay silent. Still here, still here, still here, still healing, I guess. Still here. I almost called you tonight. Still here, still healing, I guess. Blue lights through the blinds again. The city never really sleeps. It just gets quieter about it. Couldn't sleep tonight, so I've just been laying here, watching shadows move across the ceiling. Cars passing outside, someone arguing downstairs, sirens somewhere far enough away to sound almost peaceful. Funny what becomes comforting when you spend enough nights alone. I used to call you during hours like this, back when silence felt easier, with another voice inside it. Now it's just me and whatever thoughts survive after midnight. almost looks pretty from far away. I tried distracting myself earlier. Put on music, clean the kitchen, answer texts I ignored all week. Still ended up here somehow. Same ceiling, same thought, same quiet ache, sitting in the center of everything. I don't even know if this is about you anymore. Maybe loneliness just borrows familiar faces sometimes. Floating, distracting myself earlier. Put on music, clean the kitchen, answer texts I ignored all week. Still ended up here somehow. Same ceiling, same thoughts, same quiet ache, sitting in the center of everything. I don't even know if this is about you anymore. Maybe loneliness just borrows familiar faces sometimes. Floating, certain people change faces permanently, even after they're gone. Blue lights through the blinds, another sleepless night dissolving into morning. And maybe healing isn't dramatic anymore. Maybe it's just surviving nights like this without reaching for old habits or old names. Still, I almost called you around 2:17. The sky's getting lighter now. Didn't sleep again. Never text her in the daytime, only when the city gets quiet. I already knew it was you before I checked the screen. Same timing every time. Somewhere between loneliness and boredom, you start remembering me again. And somehow I always answer faster than I should. Maybe because part of me still misses being needed, even temporarily. You say you're just checking in, but we both know that's never all it is. You only miss me at night, when the drinks wear off, when distractions stop working, when somebody else's apartment doesn't feel like home. That's when my name starts sounding comforting again. And I hate that I still know the difference between your lonely text and your honest ones. You asked if I was seeing somebody. I laughed before answering, not because it was funny, just because we lost the right to ask each other things like that a long time ago. Still, hearing jealousy in your voice did something to me, something unhealthy probably. flirting, it's the familiarity. How easily we fall back into old rhythms, inside jokes, unfinished sentences. That comfortable silence we built over years for a few minutes. It almost feels like nothing ended, then one of us says goodbye too casually, and reality comes back immediately. Some people don't fully let go. They just revisit each other when life feels empty. You only miss me at night, never in the morning, never in the sunlight, never when life's actually moving forward. Only in quiet rooms through glowing screens, when memories start sounding softer than truth. And honestly, sometimes I miss you that way too. Sunday morning again. Funny how breakups keep existing in small domestic ways. There's still a hoodie of yours thrown over the kitchen chair. Not because I can't move on, I just keep forgetting it's there. The coffee tastes colder lately, or maybe I drink it slower now. Used to make 2 cups automatically, guess muscle memory takes time. Nobody talks enough about this part, the quiet adjustments. Half-empty coffee cups, half-finished conversations. Half of me still expecting to hear your keys at the door. It's not heartbreak anymore, just little traces of a life that used to feel permanent. I cleaned the apartment yesterday, found movie tickets in a drawer from that terrible film you loved for some reason. Couldn't even remember the ending, but I remembered your laugh during the bad scenes. Crazy what stays, I think that's the strangest thing about love. Your brain deletes entire arguments, but keeps tiny useless details forever. I saw a couple arguing outside last night, and for a second I missed even that. Miss knowing somebody deeply enough to annoy each other honestly. That sounds unhealthy when I say it out loud, but maybe loneliness makes you nostalgic for things that weren't even perfect. Some people leave suddenly, others fade slowly through everyday routines. Half-empty coffee cups, quiet mornings, background television noise. That's what's left now, not dramatic sadness, just a different version of normal. I'm still learning how to live inside. The coffee went cold again. Didn't even notice. I was doing fine. That's the annoying part. I hadn't checked your profile in weeks. Stopped replaying old conversations too. Started sleeping earlier, started answering people back, even let somebody new sit in the passenger seat once. So tell me why tonight feels different. Why one random memory hit me harder than the actual breakup did. It was stupid too. Just remembering the way you used to say, drive safe, like you really meant it. Some nights move forward, some nights pull you backward. I thought I was over this, over your voice, over these streets, over replaying old versions of me. But healing's not a straight line, no matter how much people pretend it is. One song, one scent, one late night drive, and suddenly you're everywhere again. Ooh, I hate how memory edits people, makes the good parts brighter, makes the lonely nights feel romantic, like we didn't spend months barely understanding each other anymore. Still, there were moments, little moments, where loving you felt easy. And maybe that's what keeps surviving. Headphone atmosphere. Headphone atmosphere. Headphone atmosphere. Ooh. Headphone atmosphere. City lights through wet windows. I almost texted you tonight, didn't though. Sat there staring at the screen, typing half sentences, deleting all of them. Because honestly, what would I even say now? Hey, I know it's been a while, but I heard a song that ruined my entire evening. Maybe missing somebody doesn't always mean you should go back. I thought I was over this, thought the hard part already passed, thought enough time would finally make your name feel smaller somehow. But certain people stay with you differently, like background noise you stop noticing until the room gets quiet again. Still driving, still thinking too much.